Hi, Frank's Fiddle, Frank. So I've been thinking, I'm not going to play a bit today because I've still got this this hacking cough. I've not played for a couple of days, didn't play really over the weekend. Played a bit on Saturday, but I just haven't got the enthusiasm for it, and I thought I'm not going to do this when I haven't got the enthusiasm. I'm not going to force myself to come and do it, although that is always the get out for, oh, I don't feel like it. So it's not that I don't feel like it, I just coughing and sneezing the entire weekend, so I give it a rest. But also I've decided I want to do something to add something. I've decided I need a fiddle hat. Fortunate thing is I've got about 30 hats, one head, 30 hats. So I thought I was going to start, I'm going to go through them until I see one I think that's the one. And if I don't have it in all my hats that I've got, I'll start by looking for a hat to be my fiddle hat. I think I know more or less what style it's going to be. I've got various kinds, baseball caps obviously everybody has. I have fedoras in different kinds, different materials. I have pork pie hats and a couple of other hats. And so I'm just going to go through them, wear them one each time I play or do a video and see which one I think that's the one. And some of them have got a story behind them. And if there's a story, I'll add the story. Because I was thinking actually about fiddle playing, then I thought, it's my channel, my YouTube channel, I put what I want on there. So, I got my first hat. This is not going to be the hat, I know for a fact, but I'm going to get it out of the way. And it's got two stories attached to this hat, both of which, first one I find funny, second one, well, you'll understand when I get to the second one. So here's my first hat. Also it hides this frigging hair that I've been at work all day and my hair looks like this. So and if I play on a Saturday morning, I often don't want to brush my hair on a Saturday morning, so wearing a hat is a great way to do that. So here's my first hat. I love this hat, so be kind. But as you can see, if you look close, can you see that? Harley Davidson cowboy hat. Okay, a couple of stories. Firstly, I love cowboy hats. My dad bought me one many years ago when I was a kid. He went to America, his first trip, I think, maybe his only trip, I don't know, to the States when he was in the Navy. And he brought me back a proper felt Stetson cowboy hat, and I loved it. Sadly, I was a kid, so I grew out of it in about 3 weeks. And anyway, you're not going to wear, you're not going to go around wearing a cowboy hat in a mining town in the Midlands. If there's nobody's going to say that looks cool. you wear a cowboy hat out to play in a mining town in the Midlands, and you're just going to get bruised. And I think it's still at my mum and dad's, so I shall reclaim it sometime. And in fact, it's a pinhead's hat, so it'll actually fit Anthony's still. Anyway, this hat. So I wanted a cowboy hat, and when we went on our cruise for our 20th wedding anniversary, we went to Miami. I'm trying to figure out how to wear this. Hide them around. We went to Miami, and I thought, brilliant. The southern states, cowboy country. I didn't realise that Florida is not really classed as cowboy country until I got there actually and saw how many Cubans and Puerto Ricans there were there, and old people. So we're wandering around town. I thought, I'll get a cowboy hat. I was getting more and more miserable, well, not miserable, but irritated that I'd not got this cowboy. And not only did I get one, there was not one to be seen anyway. And now, bear in mind, we're in Miami, right? There's I don't know how many people are in Miami, but in this, all the way walking around Miami the entire day, nobody paid the slightest bit of attention to us, and nor should they. We were just two other people out of the multitude that was there, and we're on the Bayside shopping area in Miami. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's packed with people, and it's, as you think, it's a shopping centre, but it's outdoors, and it's got all the bars there, and everything. It's just ram-packed with people. Great fun. And the only place I'd seen a hat was in there. It was in the Harley Davidson shop, this cowboy hat. And it's not ideal, but it was a cowboy hat style, and it's got the Harley Davidson thing on it. So as I say, not one single person except for a barmaid or a waitress or whoever it was, a shopkeeper that we were actually speaking to, had paid us the slightest bit of attention all day. So we're going to this we're going to this Harley Davidson shop, and I'm oohing and ahhing about this hat. I say, go on, I'll have it, because I want a cowboy hat, and we're going on the cruise tomorrow, and I want a hat for the cruise, so I'll have the hat. So I buy the hat, and as we're walking out of the shop, I shit you not, as we walked out of the shop, and I walked out the doors and turned left to go back up the main promenade way, main walkway. Guy with a cowboy hat, older than me, maybe 5 or 6 years older than me, skinny American cowboyish type dude, with all the stuff on. He got the bootlace tie and that. Came towards me with his cowboy hat on, and not a single person paid us any attention all day. I walked out the door with his cowboy hat on, and he went like this, winked at me, and he said something. Now, in my mind, he said howdy. In fact, in my mind, he said howdy, partner, but I don't think he said that. He just said a word, what it was, hi or good day or whatever it was, I don't know. In my mind, he said it was just really funny that nobody paid us a slight bit of attention, because I got a cowboy hat. First person I see is a cowboy, paid me some attention. So I was laughing, or we were laughing about that. So I was saying, should we just follow him around like we're a gang? Anyway, so that's the first story. In that cruise, we went to Puerto Rico and San Juan in Puerto Rico, and we went out for the day. We don't generally do the cruise organised things. We'll do one if it's a particular place that we want to go and see, organised thing, but we generally like to go out ourselves. So we got on went for a walk, and then we see this train, road train kind of thing, and it doesn't cost you anything, but you just tip the driver whatever you want to tip him. So we got in that, and we went into this chemist. Linda needed something upset stomach, and I said to the lady in the chemist while I'm waiting for Linda, if there's one thing that you had to do, one thing in Puerto Rico for the day as a tourist, what would it be? What would you do? And she said, oh, you need to go and see the forts. That's it, we'll go see the forts. She told us about the train, so we get on and go up to the forts. And they're quite interesting. I won't really go into the history of the forts because that's not what this is about, but they're quite interesting, and it was a good thing to do. And I think it was in the first fort we went into. We went for a look around, and it's really interesting, and it's a lot of history, and very, very good thing to read. Nice place. And Linda decides, just before I go to the next one, because it's a bit of a walk around the headland, we decided we were going to walk a bit of a walk around the headland. She said, I'm going to go to the toilet before I set off, so I'll wait in the entrance then. So she went to the toilet. I walk out into the entrance, and the security guy who's waiting sees the hat. And he went in and he said, hey, do you ride? And I did. At the time I had a motorbike, a Kawasaki sport bike. And I said, yeah, I do, and I realised what he was talking about. And I said, sadly, it's not a Harley, but I've got a bike, yeah. And he said, I'm a Harley mechanic. So there we are now. He's talking to me about Harley motorcycles. I know, except for the names of some of them, I know nothing about Harley Davidsons. I did have a Roadster, but it was a Honda thing. So we're talking anyway. Linda comes back, and we carry on the conversation, and he said to me, and we said goodbye, and I said, anyway, now, sadly, never owned a Harley. I've just got the hat. And the guy said something. If you'd have been any other nationality, I don't know, maybe take the piss out why you're wearing a hat if you ain't got the bike and all that sort of stuff. So I said to this guy, I haven't got a bike, I've just got a hat. And he said something that I've never forgotten, and it probably means nothing. I'm probably reading far too much into it. But he looked at me and he said, hey man, it's a start. And God, that stuck with me, and I kept thinking about it. It's one of these things when Linda says to me, what are you thinking about? This is one of the things I'm thinking about. She'd be bored shitless if she knew the things I was thinking about, but this is one of the things. And I was thinking, what a positive thing to say that is. This guy, as far as he's concerned, is a big Harley Davidson man. As far as he's concerned, the only thing it takes to start getting a Harley Davidson is a desire to have one and a hat, and you're on your way. And the more I was thinking about it, the more I was thinking, that's the American dream. You know, you get, they talk about the American dream, and people have said for years what it is, and it's this, and it's about the car you drive, and it's about the fact that you can be the president if you want to be, and you can be anything you want, you can have anything you want. It's the lifestyle, it's this and that, the other. It's the mindset. The American dream is the mindset. For this guy, never knew me, didn't know anything about me except 2 minutes worth of conversation. I own a Harley Davidson hat that I just bought. It's not like I'd had it for 10 years. He knew I just bought it, 3 days before in Miami. And the only thing he knew about me was I ride bikes. I like Harley Davidsons, and I would own a Harley Davidson, and I've got a hat. And for him, that's enough. If I want to own a Harley Davidson, I've made a start. And it's always stuck with me, and that's one of the big differences. And if there's any comments on this later, don't give me any political crap about Americans this and Americans that and who they are. I'm not interested. I take people as I take them. But one of the big things, and one of the things I think that pisses people off about Americans, because they don't see that in themselves, we don't see it in ourselves, is this positive attitude. It's the fact that if you having a hat, actually start, mate, that next thing you get a jacket, it's that positive attitude. That's the American dream. And I thought, this is going to be the first hat that I wear. This is not going to be the Fiddle hat. It's far too big and it's too bloody warm as well. But this is the hat. This is the start of the journey. And I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking, what a dick you look like. And I don't even have a bike anymore. Anyway, just some thoughts. So I'm going to do some violining now, but not on here because I'm already running out of time. So this is the notice. There will be hats, and that's my story.